Hello!
Hello.
Welcome to the Must Love Yarn podcast. It's Monday. It's become
Definitely
our
Monday. Yeah.
normal podcast day.
Yeah.
It's the 28th. It's the last day of February.
28th. I'm
28th.
well aware. Yep.
I do not know how that happened or where February went.
Mm-hmm.
So when you watch this, it'll be March.
Yeah.
Because it'll post on Friday.
That's right. Yes.
So this is a podcast about yarn and woolly things and new products in our store in Shelburne, Vermont, and probably the weather and other Vermont related things.
I think we've covered all of that in the outtakes so far.
Totally. And if you didn't know, if you don't stick around long enough, there is the chit chat and outtakes at the end.
Right. All the good stuff happens there.
Where we do a lot of just kind of catch up and what have you been doing the last couple weekends?
Yeah.
Weeks.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Right.
What's new?
Right.
And you can find the store on all social media as Must Love Yarn on Instagram, Ravelry, Facebook. We've got a pretty active Instagram feed if you want to see all the pretty yarn and pattern things and new stuff in the store.
Right.
Class schedules. There it goes. And I have nothing. I throw stuff, we haven't shown it yet.
Oh!
So
honestly, we really need a big arm and a stick.
Something. Somebody suggested one of those Lucky Cat wavy arm things.
Oh.
But I think that we'd have to do a long flag on the top of it so it was
Maybe
longer
we could
to,
get a cat
wave.
toy with a big tail on it. And we
yeah,
could just
one of
wave
those
that around.
and yeah.
Julius
Anyway,
wouldn't like it if I brought them all in here, but
totally
feather duster, that's what we need.
just got off complete
All
topic
right.
of what's happening here.
Be prepared, because next time there's going to be some fluffy things to wave around.
Motion sensor shenanigans. So
That's right.
Anyway,
Yeah.
And I'm Angela.
It's where are we?
I don't even know.
I'm Jen. Let's pretend that's where we were. I don't know if that's really where we were.
That's what we're gonna make it.
Oh,
and
dear.
you can find me out on social media, Instagram and Ravelry as Junior Bird Kid.
I might have to condense all mine into one thing because it would be a lot simpler. But you can find me on Instagram as Jennifer_Arbuckle and on Ravelry as J Arbuckle, all one word.
And our podcast and store mascots, the mob of meerkats, still in hibernation.
Their heads are in a snowbank somewhere.
I know where they are. I just didn't grab them this morning and didn't take them when we went, out this weekend.
It was chilly. I don't think they needed to be outdoors this weekend.
No.
Plus, it's probably tedious
It
when you've got a reenactment going on in the outtakes. Yeah, that's where that's at.
I was trying to go really low gear, and sometimes I'll bring a backpack, and so I'll just put them in there. But being out on the snow,
They're meerkats from Africa or someplace. They're probably not
No.
They probably don't love it to be outdoors.
No.
Not that they're not acclimated
So,
to Vermont,
they
but
have an Instagram feed. It's been right now, but, it'll come back.
once a month or so they
I
do
kind
something.
of figured there's only so many pictures that people can see of the stuffed meerkats in the snow in my yard before you're just okay,
Maybe you need to get a real meerkat.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez.
People have them as pets, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't need any exotic animals. It's bad enough with a couple cats and a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Goldfish about
You
as
notice that I
exotic.
didn't volunteer to host the meerkat.
I noticed that. I see.
Right.
I see.
Yes. I'm full of good ideas for other people.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So we are going to start with our segment, our podcast pick segment this week. And
Right, which is down here on the floor.
yeah, we've got a yarn that if you still want to join in with our along that's happening, it's one of our knit along, craft alongs.
Here for the moment.
It started as the shift along and then we just changed it to the along. So it's running through the middle of April, so there's still plenty of time to join in and come see. I have been working on this project, so we're gonna go all over the place here. This is my along project.
I didn't bring mine with me.
Which
it hasn't
is the
gotten much attention lately.
Danny sweater, which doesn't have arms. The armholes need to be steeked. but it fit on our armless mannequin perfectly, and I thought it was hilarious. So that's why it's up there. But it's knit out of barber pole style yarn, which is this like shift yarns that's shifty.
Like that.
Ton of patterns. We have a bundle up in our group for different patterns.
And we just found another one.
And I feel like every day I turn around and I'm like, oh, you could do that.
Very versatile this yarn is.
Totally. So this is, the typical like spin cycle yarn that a lot of people use. Feederbrook Farm has this type of yarn. Schopel, which is the yarn that we're going to show. So the Edition 3 is their smaller
50 gram
skeins. And we've got a bunch of different colors. And I should have looked up how much those ones retail for.
I don't know about that.
Give the deets, and I will look up how much.
It is 100% merino fine superwash wool. And they are 50 grams and 150 meters. So, whatever that equals in yards. Without my calculator handy, I can't tell you. But it's, 200 and something-ish.
Okay, so our Edition 3, which is the 50 gram skeins, retails for $13.50.
So, but we're having not just one, but two things.
Yeah.
As part of our pick.
And did you say it's a DK weight?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I didn't, but it is.
It's
Both of these are
DK weight.
Yes. Sorry.
And so we also are giving the Starka 6 a try out. This is 150 grams.
And it's a 75-25.
Yep.
75% wool, superwash wool, and 25% nylon.
Yep.
And it's 400 meters and 150 grams.
Yep. And that retails for $30. So it's a bigger skein, of course,
but the value,
like the equivalent of 3 of the smaller ones. Yeah. And so depending on what type of project you're going to knit,
if you want a sweater, if that's what you're thinking,
2.
These are good choices because you get a lot of yardage and it's all one length. So otherwise, every 50 grams or so, you're weaving in ends or splicing or something. So these are the colors that we have in that, all on our website, in the Stark 6.
Yeah.
Lots of good choices. Great sweater collars. So for bigger projects, this is a good choice. Oops, sorry, the tag. But and we have some really great pictures up on our website.
Yep.
And actually, I think we had pictures in our most recent newsletter too. So if you're not signed up for our newsletter, you probably should be, because we share some info in there that we don't always share everywhere else.
So we just stumbled across, or this was out in the store, because every time I come in, our people here have new things out, which I think is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So this is called the Clementine cowl, and it looks like a slip stitch pattern. And this one, it's a spin cycle. So they're using, looks like 2 different skeins of spin cycle yarns, but you could totally do this with one of the Schopel and like a solid. It would be super gorgeous.
These are some of the pairs that we have up there. Although the black would be great with anything, obviously.
Yeah, with any of those.
Good.
Gorgeous.
I can't see what I'm doing anymore. But.
Yeah. So, I mean, we can link to the Clementine cowl. So
we can put it in our bundle.
We can add it to our bundle, and I can't spell Clementine, but that's okay. It's close enough.
It's really pretty. Did you show them?
No, I did show them the picture.
It's really pretty.
So the way the we are literally all over the place. This is awesome.
Fine.
So the way the podcast pick works is that we're going to give you a coupon code, and that coupon code will get you 10% off of this group of products for 2 weeks from the date the podcast airs. So they air on Friday mornings. So it'll be good for 2 weeks following. And what do we want to do for, I haven't even pre-planned our
PP Barber.
PP Barber. Okay, you heard it.
I like them to be short because typing them in is annoying when they're long.
I mean, we hit it on PP Pole, but
yeah. That's 3 P's. People will never remember how many P's there are. PP Barber. Sorry.
PP Barber for Podcast Pick Barber. So if you use that code online, it'll get you 10% off. Or if you tell people at checkout, you have to tell them at checkout that you're using the Podcast Pick. And if you can't remember what the code is, just be like, I know this is the Podcast Pick. And they'll give you the 10% off for that product.
Will. Yes, they will.
So that's our new one. Come join our knit along.
Yeah.
We've got that one going. I picked out and bought yarn to start another barber pole style sweater.
You did?
I did.
Are we going to talk about that later?
I can talk about it right now, since we're all over the place.
Sure. Mine is at home. While she's digging that out, mine is at home. It's not in hibernation like some of my other whips, but it's definitely on the back burner because I had some other things I had to get done in the last 2 weeks. And also I cast on a new sweater. I
cast on another sweater for that too. Apparently
right.
I'm knitting all the sweaters now.
Yes, but as we all have learned, Ange knits faster than I do.
So Kelsey Stevens
cute. Nice picture.
issued a new pattern called the Farmhouse Cardigan. And she's using her own version of this style
like
of yarn.
Hand spun.
Yeah, it looks very hand spunny.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's one of the things I like about this yarn is that it does. So hand spun would also work in our knit along. You don't have to use one of these.
Yeah, I would too. So I have some Feederbrook Farm. This is part of the Feederbrook like
frenzy at
Rhinebeck where I think I bought like 6 skeins and I'm like, now what am I going to use this for? So I had this one. I actually have 2 of these, which is why I picked this colorway.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really my normal color palette, but I kind of like it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pair it with these 2.
That'll be pretty.
So it's like a dusty pink
and
then a kind of charcoaly gray. So these are going to be the internal stripes. And then this is going to be the border, the collar, and the
bottom
edge.
band.
Yep.
Pretty.
Yeah. So I'm kind of excited.
Yeah.
A little bit different color palette, but I think I'm digging it.
Mm-hmm.
Those 2, do they just go?
Yeah, they're nice together.
Amazing.
We did reach out to Lisa at Feederbrook Farm because we had talked with her briefly when we were at Rhinebeck with our arms full of her yarn. Yeah, and so I think right now she's not taking new wholesale clients, but we put ourselves on her list. So
yeah,
and she's down in Maryland, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we'll let you know if we get if we get the call up.
In the meantime, we have some other choices.
This stuff's gorgeous.
Yeah. And actually, we have other stuff too because Junction Fiber Mill has both in DK and Worsted. We have some of theirs.
Yeah.
So that's a nice local yarn to us, to us. So
yeah.
So even fall is home resting. I'll get back to it.
Okay. Nice.
It's still high on my list. It's just I was feeling the fuzz more than I was feeling the.
I don't even have that. I should have added that to the casting on, but I wasn't quite sure when I was gonna cast it on. I figured I should maybe finish, probably not that one, but definitely this one that's sitting.
You should finish that one.
I know. I need to.
Because it's just sleeves, right?
I need a weekend where like I have rested eyes, like trying to do it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
After work is just asking for something
it has to
happen.
it's like it's Saturday morning. Actually the last 2 Saturdays I was teaching and then we had a staff meeting here and then it's just been
so or even for me like a Sunday morning would be fine, but and I probably could have done it this last Sunday because my people went ice fishing, so the house was like super quiet, but I was so enjoying just the peace and quiet and being able to just sit in my chair and drink my coffee and have nobody talk to me. That I couldn't be bothered to go cut my knits apart.
No, because you do have to be in the right brain space for it. It's not like you're going to do it wrong, but it's just like you just need to be like ready to do it.
Ready to do it.
Yeah.
Yep. So what are you wearing today?
So I'm wearing what is a finished object, but not really because there's gonna be some surgery done to it. So I'm wearing my Descent sweater, knit in the main body color is a CC's wool, nightshades maybe it's called. I don't remember what it's called, and my phone is over there. And the white color is Fiber Stash Great Scott, and so we knit this. We both knit them at separate, at the same time.
At the same time.
Pretty soon after it was released.
Yeah.
And And when I actually did a swatch, and when I did my swatch, it said, use a 3 times bigger needle for the yoke than for the body. And I did my swatch, and that seemed to work. And so I was like, that seems really odd to me, but I'm going to do it. And as you can see, the yoke is just way, way too big. And so the whole sweater is kind of too big.
So if you guys remember when I did mine, I also followed that direction. But I decided to not steek mine. So I decided to just make it a pullover. And the yoke was ridiculous.
When I tried it on before I steeked it,
it
actually, I was like, well, this is gonna happen and whatever. And I thought it feels, if I felt like it was way too big at that point, I probably would have not steeked it, and I would have done what you did. But anyway,
so because mine was not steeked, and I ultimately decided to keep it as just a pullover instead of a cardigan. I actually pulled the yoke down through the color work and then grabbed the stitches and then knit. So it's a top-down sweater. So I had to, do some math and turn the charts around and stuff, but drew it down and then knit it back up in a smaller needle size for the yoke. And that worked, and that would have been fine. Except I have changed sizes considerably over the last year, and that sweater doesn't fit me. But it's not because of the
It's funny
knitting.
because the fabric, like, it doesn't feel
too loose.
No, it feels fine. And so I'm going to make some darts, I think. So I'm going to pull, a pattern repeat out of both sides, and maybe the other 2 corners, and then maybe in the back. And then I'm going to see, and then if that helps and pulls, that would be like 5 inches out of the neckline.
Right.
And then I'm going to sew the button bands down together, or I may take them out altogether and just seam the sweater down the front. So there's some choices there. But I think I'm not afraid to do that because I used to sew, and so, I'm not going to wear it. So it's been sitting, honestly, to have buttons. So I wore it for Rhinebeck, and I was like, oh, it's so big, but I had bags on, and I was like dragging stuff around all day. And then I came and I bought buttons for it at Rhinebeck that year. And then it's been sitting because I sort of know in my head it doesn't really fit. And so it's been sitting for 2 years, maybe 3 years. And I was determined, I was cleaning stuff out, and I found the buttons this weekend. And I was like, all right, I'm putting the buttons on. And then I thought, I'm just going to wear it today and see like how big it is during the day. I washed it and put it in the dryer last night, hoping that would, crunch it up a little bit.
Yeah.
It did not. The joy of superwash. So I've also decided that I don't really love making sweaters out of superwash. Like I prefer my wool sweaters because they don't do this. And so I'm going to salvage this because I really love the colors a lot, and I like the pattern a lot. So I think, if you take, 5 inches out, suddenly it goes back up where it belongs, and everything starts to, 5 inches is, So stay tuned. And I was like, I shouldn't be showing people in a knitting podcast this sweater. And then I was like, well, I'm going to because it's a lesson.
We've talked about before, like you want something that fits you that you're going to wear.
Yeah. And I'm not really willing to throw this away. And there's
Right.
not a lot of other choices. So what's the worst that can happen?
Right.
I make these adjustments to it.
And it doesn't work.
Yeah. The other thing I did think is that if worse comes to worse, I could make those adjustments, and then I might re-knit the band at the top and just knit it tighter so that it pulls in more.
Everything in.
So I'm going to hope not to do that. I'm hoping my darts, that's what I'm going to call them. I've added 5 darts to this sweater, but it should be pretty easy. The pattern is really distinct, so it's pretty easy to sort of, just.
Could the other thing you do is not pull the button band in, but just make a new button band over here and pull everything this way?
Well, it fits in the body a little bit. It's just the neckline. Yeah. It's just this part that's too loose. And so that's why I'm thinking that if this got smaller, then the body would be fine.
Yeah.
But I also, the buttons, they don't say button because it's so slinky because of the superwash. And so either I need bigger buttons, or I did think about getting rid of the button band altogether and just making it a pullover, but I think I'm just going to close it up so that it's just closed all the time. So it will be a pullover, but it will look like a
cardigan.
Closed cardigan. So we'll see. The darts first, and then
Yeah.
And then the rest of it. And then if it's a little bit oversized, it'll be fine, but at least it won't be hanging quite so much around my neck. So
That's true. Is it yarn? Harlot say when you get more experienced, you don't make less mistakes, you just make bigger mistakes faster.
Right.
As
and the key is to have the energy to fix them.
Little kerfuffle with this one too.
That's why you don't want to cut it.
Part of the reason why I'm having a moment.
It's having to rest a minute
before I cut it with the shoulders and the shoulders steaming and me not reading the pattern literally when I shouldn't have.
Yeah, when you should have said, my instincts tell me to do this.
Right. And so, I got to unpick a 3-needle bind off and rip some stitches back and do it the way it was supposed to, because I had this weird little hump in the back and it was just
not attractive.
Well, it wasn't going to work. I was like, what? And when I read the instructions, I was like, this doesn't make sense. But that's what the pattern says. And I was doing what my 10-year-old does, which is like literal.
Well, sometimes, it depends on where you're at. Like, you haven't knit this pattern before. Right. You maybe not knit something from this designer before? It might be like a new way of doing something. Like, who knows? That's
kind of what I was thinking. I was like, that seems weird, but there's so many patterns that have interesting construction and a new construction,
some sort of weird thing,
some sort of other thing. And I was like, well, maybe that's just okay. They say to do this, so I'm going to do it. I don't think it's right, but.
And you were correct. That was not right.
But it's fine. It's.
Did you send her a note? Maybe to send her a note.
I might and be like, because it would be a really easy fix. Like, you just add like 3 words in this one sentence and it would fix the issue that I had. But I couldn't, it was like a Friday or Saturday night. It might have had some wine. And so, it just, at some point I'm like, it could have 100% been operator error.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it may not be the pattern. It may have just been me, which is fine. It's fine. I fixed it. It's all good. It just needs sleeves and a collar, but very close, very cool. I love it.
Yeah.
Super fun sweater.
Mm-hmm.
The Danny sweater. All right. Anyway, back to on track. What am I wearing? Gee, Christmas. This is the If Sun Comes shawl by Amy Christophers. It's a really fun, like, 2-color.
Yeah, it's pretty.
2-color shawl. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to remember if this is worsted or DK weight. And I can't remember. It might be worsted.
Yeah.
So it's Lolo Did It is the yarn. And I think it took 2 skeins of the speckled and then one part of one for the border. But really fun. It's super warm for like days like this.
Today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Really cozy. In fact, earlier I had to take it off because it got a little toasty
in
the afternoon.
I have the opposite.
When the sun came out.
It's cold in my office in the afternoon. It's warm in the morning because I'm on the...
So that's what I'm wearing today. I do have a couple of finished objects.
I have some finished objects. It's so exciting.
Yay, go.
So I finished my hat, my Musselburgh hat.
Yay.
So pretty excited about it. It's so
it's gotta be so warm.
So chunky and warm. Yeah.
Nice.
And it's it looks good. Sorry for the hair, folks.
Yeah, that's right. Hats kind of kill the hair, but whatever. It's fine.
It's really, and I love the colors. I'm so excited about the color. So mine, because it's thick, it doesn't really slouch, which is really fine. Because I'm not a big slouch hat person. I like them to fit. So I'm pretty excited about.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's fun.
So that's going to be a hot mess.
Yeah.
So
well, I'm about ready to put 2 hats on my head, so stand by.
Yeah. So that's the Musselburgh hat for those that are new or don't remember. I don't know how you could forget. So I did mine in worsted weight because, I don't like to follow the rules. And so it's a Nora Corian on the outside, and it is Juniper Moon Farm Moonshine on the inside.
Nice.
And so I haven't blocked it yet. I'm not really sure I'm going to. I could wear it for the rest of it.
You totally could.
You can talk about your hats and I'll redo my hair.
I have a couple of these cluster hats. I don't know if you've seen seeing these circulating out on social media. There's a couple different ones where there's yarn has been dyed to specially do these clusters, and
It's
the
nice to
cluster
see
stitch.
it done, because I was trying to visualize
Yeah.
what the whole hat was going to look like, you know.
Yeah. So this is the Storchtastic, I think, probably butchered that hat, by Hunter Hammerson. And the yarn is from Gage Dye Works, and it's specifically dyed for this particular project.
It's funny, they cluster, but they don't completely cluster.
They don't. It depends on what your gauge is,
Yeah.
like where they're gonna go. So Jen could knit this hat with a skein of this yarn, and her clusters would be probably totally in a different place.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it
I'm a little
really
tighter than
just
you are.
depends on what your gauge is, and you know how you do your clusters too. I think through 90% of this hat, I was actually doing the clusters wrong, which is fine. Nobody's gonna ever be able to tell. But I was doing them a hard way. It's a much easier way to do them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So good job, me. So that I finished that hat. And then I have a second clusters hat. So this is a different
Size.
Well, it actually fits me.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. It's got a lot of good stretch. So this is the Happy Clusters hat. It's by Samantha Hardman, and she's the person who does a Whimsical Wood yarn company. And this is her yarn that she dyed up. This my 5-year-old picked out this yarn, which is part of the reason why it's the color that it is.
It's a pretty color, though.
It is pretty. Yeah. But yeah, I could wear it.
Yeah.
It'll fit her better, but I can wear it. So.
Is she excited? Does she like it?
I haven't shown her yet.
Oh.
Because if I would have shown her, I wouldn't have been able to bring it to the
I
podcast.
wouldn't have it with you.
So I'll give it to her later.
Yeah.
So I finished that one.
Awesome.
She has some other color, like other bases, not bases, but base colors. Like there was one that was a dark gray, and there's one that's like a white and some like pinks and stuff. I thought I actually ordered the dark gray, and then the yarn showed up, and I was like, I guess we went with aqua. Couldn't remember.
Or Abigail got in and changed the color after you had finished it.
No, I let her pick because it was going to be for her.
Right.
We were going to make matching hats, and sometimes I can steer her, but apparently she wanted aqua, and I forgot that I ordered aqua. So two skeins of the aqua showed up, and I was like, oh my God.
That's funny.
Right.
So last time I showed you Big Mitt, as I was calling it. And since then, I felted the one because I had my mitten class. It's not completely felted. I'm going to felt it one more time. Because it still has a little stiff definition, and it's a little big, but it could also be like an over mitten, but I want it to be a little bit smaller. But it's interesting, and I finished the second one this weekend to work on with my class, which we finished up yesterday. And also, so it's kind of nice to sort of see the before and after. So this is 3 times in the dishwasher.
Washing machine.
Or the washing machine. I would use the washing machine. It's up to you. But and as I said, I think there's one more time. And you know, they're like 5 minutes at a stretch, but I have a front loading washing machine. So for those that tell you it can't be done, of course it can be. But I did send it all the way through, and then I let it dry, because you do want to shape it to get the thumb sort of, because when it comes out of the thing, it's a little bit whatever, and you just want it to be right. You want it to be sort of where you want it to be. So this will get 1 more, and this will get 4, and then eventually there'll be a matching pair. So that was fun. So these are the felted curry-on mittens.
Nice.
From Isa Webb, and they were super fun to knit, and it took, I want to say 2 skeins probably, maybe not quite. I actually had some leftovers from this guy, and I blended those in, so they're not matching, but they sort of hang together.
Nice.
Yeah. So these are this colorway is an older one that I had, and we have this newer one and the more aqua one. So I just blended them together with something that was close.
Nice.
So that was fun, and then I have like a half or 3/4 finished object.
Nice.
Do you have more finished objects?
No more finished objects.
All
I've
right.
got some new works in progress that people haven't seen.
I do too. It's very exciting.
Very exciting.
Yeah, so also for my class, although we did not get here, as it turns out, mittens are, it's funny, if you've made them before, they're not complicated, but when you haven't made them before, so anyway, I was overestimating what I needed for my class.
Right.
And we're going to learn about how to make 5 kinds of mittens, which, as it turns out, we're going to run a separate class at some point for thrummed mittens.
Nice.
Because we didn't really get to them, but I had, this mitten was, like, I didn't have the thumb and I hadn't finished off the top. So I was showing it to them as an example because I had a thrummed mitten pattern that I was using in the class as well. These, I forget, Carrie Ross, I think is the woman's name. But it's a good basic thrummed mitten. So I finished this one for the class, and then I just cast, I mean, they take like, they're so fast because they're so big and bulky. Yeah. And so I cast on the other one, and I'm, this much from the end, and then I have a 20-minute thumb to put in. And then I will have, these I started like 2 years ago. I mean, they've just been sitting there forever.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit motivated to get them done, and it's still cold. So.
Yeah, at the rate we're going, it's going to be cold forever.
Right.
So.
And these are, the roving is just like sheep's wool that I had from like a learn to spin class at Shelburne Farms like 12 years ago.
Nice.
And the blue is, I don't have the ball band anymore. I want to say it's Ushaya. Yeah. So I'm not 100% sure, but it will be on my project page in Ravelry. So you could check it out there.
Nice.
And for those that haven't done thrum mittens before, they are the warmest thing on the earth.
Oh,
and, they're very fluffy because you have these bits and bobs of stuff, and then they sort of mat down over time on the inside and get a little felty.
Yeah.
So
super nice.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. So that's that until we get to the whips. Oh, look, another one.
Yeah. So, Musselburgh.
Oh,
so I decided to take the leftover skein, and because it's top down, or crown down, I can knit as far as I can go with a Musselburgh, and then I'll just switch over to probably a solid color of some sort. But
you're doing bobbins instead, huh?
Yeah, the Happy Clusters hat comes with different things you can do, and so I figured I will try one of her other clusters. And so this is just
actually. I like the other ones, but I kind of like those a little bit better. Yeah.
Super fun. It got a little weird at the top because I kept hitting the rain, so you can see like a couple times I was just like, nope, I'm just gonna keep knitting, or I'm gonna have like 7 clusters on top of each other. And this
a flower garden on the top of the hat.
happening up here. So and I got kind of off in the weeds over here with a little pooling for the same reason, where all of my clusters were like lining up on top of each other.
Oh, that worked. Just have to reach high enough.
Yeah. So, but it's fine. It was like right at the end of the decreases, and I couldn't. But
it's fine.
So this is like I don't know how.
So what's the other?
I don't know.
Are you gonna
go? Am I gonna be able to go?
So you have to pick something for the other end, probably.
Yeah, I was thinking I will just go into stash and see what I have in like a DK solid or
stripes.
I might have some like black fingering cashmere that I could hold double for the inside of the hat, which would be
I have to say one thing
amazing.
One thing I do like about this is the outside is Noro, so it's a little bit rougher, but the moonshine is really soft, and I like it both ways. I kind of like it better with the moonshine showing at the brim, but anyway, it's kind of nice to split it so you have like one on one end and then a soft one on the inside. So
I may also have some lace weight alpaca that I could hold double.
Yeah.
And that would also be super soft and work on the inside.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna lean towards something a little softer for the inside. So we'll see. I'm gonna stash dive for that.
Yeah.
Just see what I can find.
Fun.
Yeah. It'll be good. So I cast on another sweater.
Me too. Just one though. Right.
I haven't finished that one, but I have a third one in line here. But
That's okay. As you well know, I start things and then I don't finish them because I have how many things simmering in our list here. They still all say Jen next to them. So
I
haven't seen it in person yet.
Started a love note.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty.
Another love note.
So which yarn? I was wondering.
So this is Fuse Fiber Studio.
Mm-hmm.
This is her Smoky Singles. It's a superwash merino, 20% silk and 15% yak.
I wonder because it's got some fluff to it. Ooh, it's really soft. It's got some fluff to it,
Perfect.
and I was trying to figure out. Yeah.
And I'm just pairing it with some Ariel, Broco Ariel, like these
mushroomy kind of color.
Totally match made in heaven.
Yeah.
Those two.
Yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful.
So
it'll be fancy or not fancy, right? Because it's so soft. Yeah.
So soft.
Yeah.
And that, that's one of the things. The silk is really strong, so the singles can do garments. But if you're pairing it with something like this, it's fine.
Because this has a little silk in it too, doesn't it? Or is it just mohair?
Yeah, it's mohair and silk.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. So this will probably be really warm, actually.
It'll be warm, but very lightweight,
Yes.
and you could either dress it up with all black, or you could wear it with jeans and a t-shirt, and
Yep.
also be good.
Yeah, so
neutral.
I know.
A little bit of color, but mostly neutral. A little bit of green.
So I'm pretty excited.
Yeah.
It's kind of not really
pretty.
my normal. The green's not super my normal color palette.
Mm-hmm.
In some lights, I'm like, wow, that's a really like camouflagey looking sweater, but I think it's quite a bit more subtle.
Yeah. It's just it makes a really nice neutral. Yeah.
So soft.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, you're just gonna be curled up in that. So that's for your snuggle along.
that's for my snuggle along.
Speaking of which.
Yep. I have to decide how long I want to make the body.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little longer. I like them a little longer than cropped.
Yeah.
So.
And
So, but you cast on something gorgeous for the snuggle along too.
I did. So, as you all know, maybe, or might remember from, I don't know, 3 months ago when I knit the swatch for this, I cast on Magnolia. And I had a moment where I was like, and since this pattern has been published, she's released Magnolia Chunky Cardigan and In Bloom, which is like inverted with a bulky weight, but the pattern is up top. It's just really beautiful. I might have to do that too. So the Chunky Cardigan is knit with what I had always planned to do, which was a DK plus a mohair. And so I'm using the needles and some of the sizing from the cardigan, but I'm knitting. But I didn't want a cardigan; I wanted it to be a pullover. So I'm experimenting as usual, but it's knitting up really nicely, and I'm really excited.
Those colors are gorgeous.
Yeah, I'm really excited. It's funny, like as you say, sometimes I look at it and I'm like, it's exactly what I wanted, which was like a purpley blue, and then other times I'm like, ooh, it's red and blue, like 2 separate colors. But it's I can't wait to get back to this. I had to stop to get the mitten stuff done, and I do have to pause to finish the Seasons of Vermonti thing next. But this, I'm actually bringing, I wanted to get this to a point that I could bring it with me on my trip this week. So this will be my conference knitting.
Nice.
Which, who takes a sweater to a conference to knit with? But it'll be my mindless thing until I get to the lace and I have a cord so I can, right. It's all stockinette for a long part of the way here, and I can stop when I get here and then do the sleeves down to there and then deal with it when I get home. Yeah. So
perfect.
I say like I'm going to finish it somehow over the weekend.
We all have illusions of grandeur.
Right, exactly. I'm going away for 3 days. I have to bring 4 projects with
I will
me.
finish the sweater and cast on
a hat
and some socks and make them all.
Right.
Yeah. No,
right.
totally.
And, it's a very busy conference. I got a lot going on this weekend there.
So, of course, you'll get all the things.
Right.
All the things done.
So, I thought
I'm gonna tease a little more here.
Yeah, because we're going to be issuing on the 18th, I've decided. March 18th.
So this will probably be the last podcast really before
we're actually
releases.
Showing everything that's in the box right before.
Yeah.
So, again, I'm not going to talk too much about it, but as you can see, it's kind of a round thing.
A round thing. The mic over your head.
Right. It's like a little shoulder thing. So there's a big cable pattern growing up from the bottom, and then There's an accent color that will be in a band around the top. That's all I'm going to say.
Fun.
Yeah.
And
flowers and vines. That's all I'm
so
gonna
the
say.
yarn on the bottom
Mhm.
is from Peter's Home Farm. And one of the things that we wanted to start doing kind of on a monthly basis, I think, is providing just sort of a farm spotlight for and just show you some of the yarn from
our community.
And we're going to be, any of the farm yarns that we talk about, we're going to make sure that they're available for purchase on our website as well, which is something that's been a little more challenging at times to make sure it's all up there, but we're gonna do it.
Yeah, a lot of our farmers, we work on a consignment basis with them, and so we don't always have a lot of control over what they want us to have here, which is fine. Or we might have 3 skeins of this and 8 skeins of this, and it changes a little bit. So we're gonna, we'll orchestrate that a little bit to make sure that what we talk about is available for those of you that are not local to us, as well as, of course.
So we wanted to show you a little bit of the selection of Peter's Home yarn that we have in the store, and just to, show you a little bit of like how this yarn knits up. It's
so they're Shetland, mostly Shetland sheep that they have.
They're in Williston, Vermont.
Just like 10 miles from here.
Yeah, it's not very
So we
far.
have a lot, and they're all natural colors that we have here in the store. And we have some kits for things, which we're going to show you, but we also have skeins of yarn individually, and not the red. The red is from Bobolink Yarns, but the yarn that will be part of the Seasons of Vermont kit is from them. This is their sport weight. And this lovely neutral.
Yeah. And we have from them both just 100% Shetland yarn, but we also have some Shetland mohair blends that they bring in. It's like a 80-20 blend. In fact, this is one of their blends, and it's just so soft.
Yeah.
But we have, we have their yarn in fingering weight. We have it in sport weight. We have in DK weight. We have some in worsted weight. And we have a little bit of sort of everything. And what I tried to do here is just pull sort of a sampling of all of their various colors. So these are all different weights.
All the sheepy colors.
Weights and blends. Some of these are, this one's a mohair.
It ranges from like this beautiful cream
Yeah.
and there's a little bit of silver mixed in with the cream sometimes, all the way up to this like super
Really dark.
which is really a nice,
Chocolatey
beautiful
kind of
dark brown.
Yeah.
And sort of everything in between.
Some browns, some this is like a gray brown.
Yeah, that one
That's
too.
like a gray.
Yeah.
But just really lovely, gorgeous colors. So, check the website. We'll have, what we have in stock will be available and listed up there and we'll link to Peter's Home page on the website so you can see. But, Brenda's got some great.
First of all, super cute logo. Who could not have a cuter logo, honestly?
Right. So you can just see just the stitch definition with the color work with these guys is gorgeous and amazing.
Yeah. So we have kits for these mittens.
Yep.
We also have, speaking of thrummed mittens, we also have a kit from them where there's a skein of yarn and then these beautiful locks. A little bit hard to see in the plastic bag. But they're just beautiful. Look at how lustrous they are. Gorgeous. To thrum those mittens. Can you imagine?
Oh, I know.
So
right?
soft. It's just.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
We have some kits to make a brioche scarf as well, which are really cool. So this is a DK.
Those are new. She just brought those in. I think we didn't have those until just recently.
DK weight. So it's 2 contrasting colored skeins in the kit. So those are new and fun. It comes with the pattern.
I was just going to say the pattern is inside the bag for the mitts too. And we also have some colored roving from them in smaller quantities, but I'm not sure. That may not get onto the website, but anyway, just really great. And we've been
Since
We've
almost the
had their-
beginning, I think.
Yeah, from
Yeah.
almost the beginning, exactly. And so we love them. We have a great partnership with them, and they just have such beautiful, beautiful products.
So this skein is coming home with me. This is one of their Shetland mohair blends in the worsted weight. Because I stumbled across this pattern called Sea Spray when I was looking at their yarns. And I was like, this is like the perfect yarn for this.
Because those light colored yarns, if you're doing a pattern or a textured pattern, really the light colored yarns just show it off so well. I mean, it really.
So, and there's a closer up look of the texture on
Yeah,
that. So it's
that'll be
just
beautiful.
such a, it's, uses Gansey inspired stitches. So
Classic.
yeah, super classic. It'll show this yarn really well. It'll be really pretty. And I was so itching to cast it on that I actually almost drove up here yesterday, and I was like, okay, just calm down. You can do it on Monday. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Finish your hats over here, lady, before you cast on another hat.
For those that are wondering, this is a pattern by Jared Flood called Ptarmigan. So just to see it, gosh, it's so pretty.
Yeah.
And the yarn really is just luscious, which is partly why when I was, sort of thinking through what are we doing for Seasons of Vermont, I went through the whole year and made a plan, and I wanted to showcase their yarn, and I've been loving knitting this.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm excited to get the other color from Bobolink. Just came this weekend, so I'm gonna go wrap that up this week and make a pattern, and
Nice.
hopefully it'll be what I envisioned when I'm done.
Awesome.
You'll all see next time.
So exciting.
Yeah.
So we do have classes scheduled and a couple of knit-alongs going, a third one starting in the middle of March. The Seasons of Vermont along is going to be starting with the release of the first edition of the 2022 box. And all of the details for the rules and how to participate are up on our Ravelry page, so take a look at those.
So I did like some administrative stuff over the last couple of weeks. Aunt was probably like, what are you doing?
No,
You've been talking about this for a year and a half now, like it's finally time. The one that I've been talking about for a year and a half now is actually the Snitch Seeker hat. So I released this pattern, I don't know when.
A week or two ago.
Yeah. And I have some of the samples that I knit for it. So this is the Ravenclaw colorway. This is in Quince & Co. And this was DK weight. So the pattern is designed to be knit in either fingering, DK, or worsted. So these slightly larger, a couple different gauges. Slytherin, Gryffindor. Hufflepuff is a fingering weight version. That was the beginning of this. I designed this hat for my niece, and I knit it for her for Christmas one year in like this really beautiful cream and gray and yellow yarn because she's a Hufflepuff. I am a Ravenclaw.
I'm Team Slytherin, in case any of you were curious.
We always joked when it was the three of us with Kelly that, because she's Gryffindor, I think, right? So all three of us are different houses, and we're very well meshed together because of that. But so this pattern is up on Ravelry now. It's a fun knit. You need three colors, perhaps, obviously. We are in the process of assembling some kits. And I think... so this was knit in Quince & Co., this was knit in Woolstock, and this was knit in Lopi, because I wanted to do like fancy and rustic, just to sort of, have a range to see how well it knit up. The pattern, shows a little bit more clearly. Snitch Seeker, so of course we have Deathly Hallows, and then the little snitches flying around the top. So that's there. It was fun.
Nice.
I've been planning this for so long. These hats have just been sitting in my living room for a really long time. So, and then the other pattern that, right, exactly, right. Write me up and post me. So the Seasons of Vermont box from December, we wait to release a pattern for a couple of months. So Hillseeker Cowl has also been released, and that is out there in the world as well, available for all. So there's the hillside side, and there's the tree. That was the inspiration that, oh, it's so cozy. We still have a couple of these kits left
Yeah.
if you're looking for them. So this is Hanson Heart Farm,
Mm-hmm.
bulky weight yarn. So that's pattern is knit in a bulky weight. And these are meant to be the different hills of Vermont and
Nice.
pine trees on either side.
Nice.
That's the inspiration. May or may not have translated exactly, but it's
Nice.
close. So that's out there also. Let's see if I can pull one more thing over my head during this show. I think that is it for me. So.
And I think, we'll, in the bottom of the show notes or include in the show notes, we're going to include some resources.
Yeah.
If you are inclined to want to donate to help folks in Ukraine. I think one of the best suggestions that I have seen for a while is if you're on Etsy, to go on to Etsy, do a search for digital patterns and makers in Ukraine. That way you can support them. They don't have to actually ship you a physical product. You can download whatever it is immediately and have access to it. And it's just a way to, get some income to the makers of that country right now. So we can link to some of those resources for folks in the show notes.
And of course, just as a basic donation location, Red Cross Ukraine is obviously going to be taking care of some people, unfortunately.
Yep. And I believe Casapinka is going to be releasing a pattern this evening, Monday night. That's a hat pattern.
So by the time this posts, it's already there.
Yep, I understand proceeds for that will be going to some organization as well. So, there's lots of ways to give if you want to help out with the folks who are dealing with that situation. So,
yeah.
Or war. We'll just call it what it is because it's a war.
Yeah. Well, we'll try. We won't be political, but it's unfortunate.
It is. And, folks could use some help and will need support. So
yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Are you picking colors?
I was looking at how long we've been going.
No, 3 more seconds. They can choose.
Okay, so I was picking some colors to do the hat. I was trying to decide. It calls for DK weight, but I think I'm going to do fingering and mohair, so I'll stick with the snuggle along. So this is option 1, which is a blue fiber stash and a yellow.
It's the TARDIS blue, because that's the blue. Yeah, her TARDIS blue is beautiful.
And Serengeti, so this is the Halo watercolors, Alpaca Yarn Company, so I could do those. Or I could sort of go in the opposite direction, which is a yellow base with a dark blue mohair, or with a slightly other. I think I like the brighter yellow better.
That's nice, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't decide because this is very sunflowery colors. It's got some greens and some browns and
what's that one called?
So
because these are up. I've got a theory. Is what that's called.
Theory.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this is goldenrod, I think. Probably right.
Yep.
In
and
case anyone's interested, we do have fiber stash up on our
Lana
website.
Grossa Silk Hair Haze in color 1303. So it's a really nice navy blue. So I'm trying to decide. I may just buy all of it because that's also what I do. And then just decide later. So
but if you have ideas or you want to share your own thoughts about that, you can.
And that's generally our sign that it's time to.
3rd time's a charm, right? It's been at least 3 times. Yeah.
So
that's that.
Stick around because by Friday you may get to see which one I've chosen.
Right.
As I cast on yet another hat.
On the social medias. I will be conferencing on Friday, so I will be working away on this. These both of these yarns for Magnolia are Rhinebeck purchases. So this is Ritual Dye Works, and this is actually from Webb's. This is Kid Silk Haze because I wanted this very specific color.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Yeah.
If you have a thing in mind.
That's right. So. I actually bought a different mohair, which I will use for something else, but at Rhinebeck. But anyway,
wasn't quite getting it done.
Nope. Too red.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
we hope everybody's healthy and safe. And,
Yep.
we thank you for spending some time with us. We hope you had some fun. You got a little break, learned something or not.
Yeah.
Learn what not
Learning
to
is
do.
optional. Learning is optional, right? Learn what not to do. Or stay tuned for the sewing adventures,
Yes.
which will follow.
Or saw some pretty things.
Mhm.
It's all good. We're here to try to show you some new stuff.
Absolutely.
So
and have a little fun.
See how many. I think I'm headed down the road of like how many whips can I have going at once.
Well, also, how many hats can you actually wear?
Well, there's that. They start going into a bin at a point,
Yeah,
and
I was
then
gonna say,
I pull them
yeah.
out for gifts, or I pull them out like for donations, like
Yeah.
if there's silent auctions or things. So
Yeah.
I have a bin.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
because yes, one can only wear so many hats.
And it's funny because
I don't actually wear hats that much.
I was going to say, I wear one every morning when I walk, but I wear the same one every morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have like 2 hats that I wear.
Yeah.
Although this will be my new walking rotation hat.
Nice.
So
Nice.
at least for another 3 weeks until it gets too warm.
Nice.
It'll be more than 3 weeks. For those that don't live in Vermont, it will be several more months before I have to take that hat off.
Yeah, totally.
Although I should really put it on now because I don't know what's going on. The floof is.
So thank you everybody for stopping by, and
Right.
we'll see you all soon.
Thanks. See you guys.
Bye.
Me and my humongous sweater.
Okay. I know. Oh, I'm gonna have the same problem because I reknit that sweater, and now
Now you're even smaller.
nothing fits me. So, it's
As usual.
Is that actually a level? Did I get that level like the first go round? That's
I
amazing.
think so. Although I feel like
Are you? Yeah, what's going on over there?
I don't know.
My chair is not that tall. It's
I
the
think
same
it's
chair.
I made sure
Yeah.
they were the same.
Yeah.
It's because my sweater. Look at this
I
ridiculous.
know.
This is-
I'm not. I'm laughing with you.
oh no! I wore it
Not-
on purpose.
Okay.
Although it has gapped even more during the day, so it's
Oh.
definitely It's
It's
funny.
like it's mohair, right? Or Angora.
I couldn't
or,
even shrink it. Like I tried to put it because I dried it.
Right.
I put it in the dryer.
I mean, superwash grows, but like that's impressive. What is going on there?
Well, it's because this is so big.
Yeah.
Once this gets tucked all back up again, it'll be better. Sorry.
Fine.
We'll have talked about this already by the time people see this part.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
But it's very saggy yarn, I will say that. It's funny, the sleeves fit perfectly. Perfect.
Good. I mean, you've got that.
Yeah.
Upside. There's always got to be upside, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those things where I feel like I should go home and do it tonight, and then I'll be happy with the sweater. Because actually it was lovely today. It was sort of,
I mean,
if my shoulders weren't freezing cold.
I'd put the sleeveless, no armhole sweater on the armless mannequin.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty well done.
Isn't that well done?
Yeah, it's perfect. Perfect fit.
That's no arms.
That's right.
No armholes, because I have to steek them.
That's right.
And I'm not ready to steek them. So,
Emotionally, you mean?
emotionally, I'm not ready to steek it. It's nothing to do with... Yeah.
I was going to say, you're skilled at steaking. You've done
Yeah.
it before. This tea has zero taste.
Fine.
Fine.
Yes, I have. I've steeked a number of projects.
Yeah.
But you still have to have your head in the right place to do it.
Yeah, and things have been.
Because it takes some concentration.
Yeah, and you have 2 children, so.
Yes, that also is
And a
part of the
dog.
problem.
Yeah.
The dog I can kick. The dog doesn't come down into the
They're
crap
small
dungeon.
steaks. They're short. Oh, right.
Yeah.
But the children do. They don't know.
Oh, they go
You
everywhere.
need like an infrared thing, like across the top of the stairs. So
I usually close the door, but that doesn't stop them.
Can you lock it from the? That's not
No,
safe. So don't
I
do
cannot.
that.
I work out down there too, and on the weekends I will occasionally look up and I will have 2 children just sitting on the stairs watching me, which is also very creepy at times. Where you're like, I've started being like, come down here and work out with me.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh no. Sometimes Abigail will. She'll come to yoga with me
Yeah.
if it's yoga day, but the rest of the stuff they're like, no, and I'm like, then get lost.
Right. Off you go.
I don't need an audience for this.
No. No.
Though I suppose it's good. I'm, passing on good life
Good
skills
examples.
about
Yes.
exercising and things for them. But
Yes, you're setting an example. Right. While they sit on the stairs.
while they sit on the stairs and watch me.
and don't exercise. Oh, golly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks, I gotta say. It's really, it seems like it was, I know we got off our kilter there for a little while, but it seems like it was a lot longer than 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks.
I don't know, just stuff.
And
work has just been insane.
In 2 weeks will be interesting. We'll have to make a last minute, or I'll have to check in with you like the Friday before, because I may have a jury draw in 2 weeks in another part of the state, and so I may not be in a place at the end of that to do a podcast, but we'll see. It might actually be really fun for all of you to watch me sort of just...
Well, because you'll be in court the next day then, right, for the trial?
Well, not the next day, because I have another trial, but the day after. Like, it just like that week could just be...
Maybe we'll do it on a different day.
Yeah, it makes my head hurt just thinking about it. But I won't know till the Friday before if we're on or not. So
yeah, I had a field trip last week, which was exciting. It's the first time I've been out and about for a while. And of course, as Ange knows, I left my phone on my desk at work. So that was very... That was something.
I told Jen, I had anxiety for her.
It was fine, actually, as it turns out. But it was like more the idea that it was not with me, and also... that understanding, which had just occurred to me, it's not with me here at the table, so hopefully I won't have to get up and get it. But it's in my bag, because now I'm very diligent about putting it in my bag. But and the downside is, we drove to Yonkers, where my client is, and I realized in Virgins, which is so I left my car at my house. One of my colleagues picked me up because my house is sort of on the way. And
you were just far enough down the road that it was inconvenient. And
he's like, let's go back and get it. I was like, are you kidding? It's like 45 minutes, and we're already running late. I mean, not that it mattered in the end, because we were not meeting till the next day. But anyway, it was fine. And it was fine. But then I had my computer with me, and so I went to check my email that evening and sort of send the notes to all my people that I was going to be incommunicado for 36 hours. And I realized that I had 2 chargers for my phone, but 0 chargers for my computer. So I'm a little out of practice. Like I used to travel every week.
Yeah.
I had my little bag of electronic chargers and bits, and I would just, I could pack in 20 minutes for a 3-day trip. No big deal.
Yeah.
Toiletries, everything. Yeah.
And now you're like, what is this travel thing?
I don't even know where that bag is anymore.
Well, I mean...
Oh my God.
We should have live streamed us trying to get ready to leave for Rhinebeck.
Yeah.
Because that was funny.
Yeah.
Just the and the number of bags that we had to bring with us for 3 days.
Right. Yeah. So, and I'm leaving again on Thursday to go to North Carolina for a little conference this weekend. I'll be back on Sunday. But that'll be different, because that's for just more than an overnight. Like for an overnight, you're like, what do I need? Nothing.
Right.
Except for, as it turns out, you need your phone. And again, it was really fine. I came back and my phone was completely dead, so I had to wait. So not only could I not open it right up and see what had happened, I had to wait for it to charge, which took an hour to get to a point where it had 4% battery.
Turn back on.
Right. And then it was very anticlimactic, because I turned it back on and it was like, oh, 1 message.
See, we were all very respectful. We were like, oh, she's gone. Okay, we won't spam her message.
Exactly right. And my family knew as well. And again, I was gone for Tuesday night to Thursday morning. But as it turns out, you use your phone for a lot, like to do calculations when you're knitting, and to I had to get up off the couch in my hotel room and go find a piece of paper and a pen so I could do some math, because I didn't feel like turning my computer on, because I might need it the next day and I didn't have a charger for it. So anyway, I'm an idiot.
I mean, it could conceivably be really nice to just be like, I'm disconnected. There's nothing I can do about it. I can't.
Yeah. When you're on vacation. When you're traveling for business.
Yeah, that's a little more
I was like, hopefully none of these clients are calling to tell me that, the meeting's off or whatever. But it was really fine. I had 2 people with me. They could check the weather for me. It was you just don't realize what you use your phone for the most. Like reading a book. I didn't have my book with me, so,
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. I left my phone at my office one day, not even overnight. I left it on my desk when I stepped out to go run a couple of errands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I realized partway out down the
Yeah.
road. I was like, oh, I don't have my phone. And I was like, oh, it's no big deal. I'll just go, I'll do this, and I'll order some lunch. And then I was like, how are you going to order lunch? Like, you don't have your phone.
You're going to have to go in and go up to the counter and tell them what you want and then
I just
wait.
skipped lunch because I was like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Because I was going to order right then and then do my errands and then pick up on the way after. So anyway, so
there's a sequence and there's all those little apps they're called on our phones that are life-saving and time-saving tools.
And I was crunched for time. Like it didn't have a huge window.
You didn't have time to wait for them to take your order and then make it.
Right after running my errands or before running my errands. Like I couldn't do both.
Right.
So
I would have chosen food over errands personally because that's how I roll. But that's just me.
I can't remember what I was doing.
I know.
I think some of it was a work related. Anyway.
And nowadays, when all my meetings are scheduled at noontime for some bizarre reason, before COVID, I had 0 meetings at noon. I know I've said this several times, but it remains a pet peeve of mine because I have a whole week of meetings at noontime this week. But noon to 1 used to be like lunchtime. You know, you didn't schedule a meeting. Occasionally, very occasionally.
Right.
But, everybody needed to eat lunch.
Right.
And now,
I think they eat lunch in the meetings.
Well, I always have my camera on, so...
Right, but I think the people that don't have their cameras on...
I guess. I did that once last week. There was something that lasted forever. Oh, a budget reconciliation. Super fun. 3-hour meeting. For a project that's over budget. Oh, it was fun. Yeah. Anyway. At one point, I was like, they're talking about mechanical systems. It's time for the architect to have lunch.
Yeah. You're like, I will have nothing to add to this.
Yeah. Or nothing they want to hear. To be honest.
That's true. Yeah. So we,
and meanwhile, on top of everything else, there's a war going over there in Europe, and so it's like this overlay on top of everything else. It's hard to be like...
It was a weird juxtaposition, so that's going on. And then on Saturday, we went to Fort Ticonderoga to go watch a reenactment of another war.
Yeah, right. On snowshoes with Revolutionary War era tools.
Yeah. No, it was a French and Indian War reenactment, battle reenactment. Well, skirmish, I guess. It wasn't even really a full... It was back in the day when, the... Robert Rogers or Rogers Roberts or whatever. My husband just cringed that I didn't get that right. Rangers. Roberts Rangers? Roberts Rangers. Somebody will correct me in the notes. I'll probably correct myself. They used to come up and do little incursions into the Fort Ticonderoga area, and they'd take hostages and kind of engage occasionally, and then do their ranger thing back into the... And book it back down to Lake George. So it was one of those that had happened.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
but
it was a beautiful day. We had another snowstorm on Friday on top of everything else, which was fine. I mean, it was mostly fine. In fairness, there was a big accident as a result of the snowstorm just north of here.
The roads were bad.
30 people involved, so it was 30 cars. It was And there was a fatality, so that was really sort of... I didn't know about that until this weekend, but it was... And it wasn't... It was weird, though, because it snowed. I had 3 inches of snow by 8 o'clock in the morning. In my office, most of the people, the ones who come from the north, were like, it wasn't snowing at my house. And I was like, it's snowing a fair amount here. And by, mid-afternoon, we had 12 plus inches at my house, and they had apparently 3 inches or something. But anyway, I had already decided to work from home for lots of reasons. But
the kids and I ventured out Friday late morning because they had haircuts scheduled, and I don't like to reschedule those appointments unless absolutely necessary, because those folks, they work for themselves, and if you cancel them, they don't get income. And really, it was just snow, and I was like, whatever, we can leave early, and it'll be fine. It was fun. It was slippery, and you had to go slow, and there wasn't very many cars out where we were, so that was fine. If there'd been more cars, or...
Well, it's school vacation week, too, so it was probably quieter.
Yeah, it was way quieter. And it was fine. We had, we were able to, pick up some takeout from Chef Lou's, so we had lunch and dinner, so we just got home and hunkered down and hung out.
I was glued to my computer screen from 9 till 5, basically. So I actually went out to shovel, and I was sort of enjoying it because I was like,
a break.
I need to be like breathing fresh air and moving my body. And yeah. Anyway,
but yeah,
so
snowstorm Friday.
Like, the weather's been
then.
But meanwhile, 2 days before, it was 50 degrees. And when I was in Yonkers, it was 67 degrees down there. It was like, I didn't have my coat on. It was.
But it's gotten cold again. Like, it was kind of cold yesterday.
It was like below zero.
Cold Saturday. Yeah, below zero this morning.
We had another snow squall yesterday.
We probably got another inch or two from that at my house.
I don't know. I don't think it was. But here, I was here yesterday afternoon, and I did the big exciting hands because the snow squall alerts are quite loud. I got like 3 of them. And they've been, I don't know where they're coming. No one knows where they're coming from.
National Weather Service.
No, I know, but I just meant that there was an article in the newspaper about it because people were like, why am I getting these alerts all of a sudden? But it was quite a snow squall. It was sunny, and then 20 minutes later, it was a whiteout here.
I've seen the time-lapse videos of the storm rolling in. Like, coming across crazy.
The lake. I looked out the window at one point, I was like, ooh, it's very dark over there. And the snow squall emergency alert, went off. Siren had gone off already. Yes. Once again, I don't really know what that's going to do.
I mean, at some point,
you're driving somewhere, you're just supposed to stop in the middle of the road. I mean,
look at your text. That's what they tell you not to do.
Right.
Don't look at your phone.
Right.
But we're going to give you this alert on your phone.
Danger. I shouldn't make fun. It's a good thing, I guess, but it's just...
A friend of mine was at the grocery store 2 weeks ago.
We had people leave the store because they wanted to get home before the snow squall.
Oh, well, I could see that.
It's fine, but yeah.
It was fine. Was at the grocery store because they launched it like a week or two ago. We had some other snow squalls that came through.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine was at the grocery store. She was like, it was eerie. Like 20 people's phones went off with this like crazy siren thing. And people were like, what is happening? And, people kind of got scared. Like,
I was teaching a class. It was that Saturday before. And I was teaching in class here, and so I think, and my phone is never on. It's always on silence. Cause
mine too.
I don't care. I will pick it up if I choose to when it rings, but I don't like it to ring out loud. And so I could feel like it was vibrating, but I wasn't really paying attention.
It was it's an aggressive vibrate.
It's really loud also.
Yeah.
And so, but then later that night, another one came through, and that one was loud. Like, I didn't hear the first one, but... I could hear something happening in the store, but that night I was sitting on the couch and another one came, and then my phone was sort of right behind me on the table. I almost went levitated off the couch by like a foot. The cat and I were both like, what was that? And then I was like, oh my God, if I pick up that phone and it's another snow squall warning, that's going to be annoying.
And it was. That night I got like 4 of them.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Only one of them makes noise. The other 3 are silent warning. I don't know. It's like it must gauge your reaction. Like, oh, that one got her off the couch, so we'll be quiet for the next 3 announcements.
I had one the time before that had noise associated with it, and I had my phone was open, and I was doing stuff on it, and so I thought maybe that was why. The other times it's been like on lock screen like it is now, and then it just buzzes.
Right.
So
it's
I don't know.
Very unpredictable. Yeah. Yesterday, people's phones were going off around the store, and we had Nick Root back here, and some people did leave early, which was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it was whatever.
I could see that. I mean, it's, they're dangerous. They're dangerous.
It really lasted for 20 minutes.
I know.
We were like, Rachel was working here with me, and she was like, she's from New York City. she was like, ooh, it's really snowing. And it was a whiteout at a certain point, in fairness. And she's like, oh, I don't know if we'll be able to. I was like, oh, no, we're leaving at 4. Like, I will be leaving at 4. But by then it stopped snowing and the sun was back out again.
Yeah. They're squalls. They go through quick.
Yeah, it was very.
But,
yeah, so that's how we entertain ourselves in Vermont.
Exciting weather. weather.
The app that scares you.
I know.
Yeah, I don't know. Technology, it's awesome. I will tell you though that you miss it if you don't have it. having had mine for 36 hours. Maybe this should
be snow squall.
Yeah, sure.
Should be, or yarn squall.
Right.
Yarn squall.
That's right. That's what we need an alert for.
Yarn squall.
Right. We got 3 boxes of yarn. It's a yarn squall.
It must love yarn.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Yarn squall.
Right.
You'll be like, what? And be like, you gotta watch the podcast.
That's right.
That'll make sense.
And all the way to the end.
All the way to the end, or it won't make sense. You'll be like, I still don't understand this yarn squall thing. What?
Keep going.
Right. That
Yeah.
light just went out behind us.
Okay, here we go. What do we have? I don't have much to
We
throw.
have nothing. We could wave the mittens.
Yeah, right. 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 Oh boy. It's gonna,
I just to start like chucking yarn over my shoulder and see if we can't.
it's soft.
catch
It's
it.
not going to hurt anything.
No, it's not
What's it
gonna
going to
hurt
do?
anything.
There's nothing over there that can break, I don't
Just
think.
more yarn.
Right.
Just more yarn.
It's all good. Yeah.
Until the crash happens, and then we'll be like, "Whoa, that was we
The computers are far away. We can't really hit
misjudged
them.
that."
Right. Yeah, I don't think there's much there that we could really hurt.
Nope.
Soft landing.
I know, except having to go pick up all the yarn when we're done.
Right, so, yes. All right.
All right,
Well,
we should get
probably,
this yarn squall on the road.
Yes, we should. Oh, boy. All right.
All right.